Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our English learning podcast. Today, we're going to talk about something really important, how to speak fluent English. And to help me with this, I've got my friend James here. Hi, James.
Hi, Lisa. I'm excited to be here. Speaking fluent English is such a great goal, and I'm happy to help our listeners improve.
So, James, when we talk about fluency, what does that actually mean?
Great question. Fluency means being able to speak a language smoothly and easily without stopping to think too much about the words. You can talk naturally, like you do in your native language.
Exactly. And one of the key elements of fluency is using common phrases and expressions. For example, we often say, "How's it going?" instead of, "How are you?" It's a more casual way of greeting someone.
Yes, how's it going? Is something you might hear in informal conversations. It's a great phrase to use when you're talking to friends or colleagues. And the reply could be, "It's going well," or simply, "Good."
Right. Another important aspect of fluency is knowing idioms. An idiom is a phrase that doesn't make sense if you translate it word for word, but native speakers use it all the time. For example, break the ice.
Yes, break the ice means to start a conversation in a comfortable way, especially with people you don't know well. For example, if you're at a party and you tell a joke to get people talking, you're breaking the ice.
Exactly. Idioms like that really help you sound more natural when you speak English. Here's another one. Piece of cake.
Piece of cake means something is very easy. For example, if someone asks you if your exam was hard, you could say, "No, it was a piece of cake." It's a fun way to say something was easy.
Right. Idioms and expressions like that really make a difference when you're learning to sound fluent. Another useful one is hit the nail on the head.
Oh, that's a good one. Hit the nail on the head means to say something exactly right or to identify the exact problem. For example, if someone describes the reason why you're tired and they're right, you could say, "You hit the nail on the head."
Yes. And these expressions not only help you sound more fluent, but also make you sound more like a native speaker. Speaking of that, let's talk about phrasal verbs.
Good idea. Phrasal verbs are combinations of verbs and prepositions or adverbs like give up or look after. They change the meaning of the original verb. For example, give up means to stop trying.
Right. Another example is look after, which means to take care of someone or something. You could say, "I'll look after the kids tonight." These phrasal verbs are very common in English.
Exactly. And that's why it's important to learn them, because they're used all the time in conversations. Once you get used to them, you'll notice them everywhere.
Yes, exactly. And here's another tip for fluency, learning how to ask questions naturally. In English, we often use, "Do you mind if," to politely ask for something. For example, "Do you mind if I sit here?"
Do you mind if is a very polite way to ask for permission. And usually, if someone doesn't mind, they'll say, "No, go ahead," or "Not at all." It's a useful phrase to know for everyday situations.
Definitely. Another good phrase is could you. For example, "Could you help me with this?" It's polite and shows you respect the person's time.
Yes, could you is great for asking for help or making polite requests. And here's another tip. Use fillers to sound more natural when you need to think. Words like or phrases like "you know" are commonly used by native speakers.
Exactly. Fillers help you keep the conversation going even if you're thinking about what to say next. For example, you could say, "I think, it's going to rain tomorrow." It makes your speech sound more relaxed.
Yes, and it's a great way to buy time while thinking of your next words. Another thing learners often ask about is the difference between say and tell. It's important to know when to use each.
Oh yes, that's a common question. Say is used when you're just reporting something someone said. For example, "She said she was tired." But tell is used when you tell someone directly. For example, "She told me she was tired."
Exactly. So you say something, but you tell someone. It's a subtle difference, but it's important to know. Speaking of subtle differences, let's talk about synonyms. Learning synonyms can help you expand your vocabulary.
Yes, synonyms are words that have the same or similar meanings. For example, happy and joyful. By learning synonyms, you can avoid repeating the same words and sound more fluent.
Exactly. Another example is big and huge. Both mean something large, but huge is a bit stronger. By using different synonyms, you can express yourself more clearly and accurately.
And don't forget about antonyms. words that mean the opposite. For example, the antonym of happy is sad, and the antonym of big is small. Learning these will help you describe things more effectively.
Yes, and learning different shades of meaning helps you sound more like a native speaker. Another thing that's important for fluency is understanding how to use polite language. For example, instead of saying, "Give me the book," you could say, "Could you please give me the book?" It's much more polite.
Definitely. Using please and thank you goes a long way in English. And don't forget to say excuse me if you need someone's attention, or if you accidentally bump into someone.
Excuse me is really useful in many situations, like if you want to ask for directions or need to pass by someone in a crowded space. It's polite and helps you communicate smoothly.
Exactly. Another thing that can help with fluency is practicing conversation starters. For example, what do you do for fun? Or what's your favorite movie? These are great ways to get to know someone and practice speaking.
Yes, conversation starters are really useful. And once you've started the conversation, you can keep it going by asking follow-up questions. For example, if someone says their favorite movie is Inception, you could ask, "What did you like about it?"
That's a great point. Asking follow-up questions shows that you're interested in the conversation and helps you practice speaking more. It also helps you learn new words and phrases.
Yes, exactly. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become. And remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Native speakers make mistakes too. The important thing is to keep speaking and learning.
Absolutely. Fluency doesn't mean perfection. It's about being able to communicate your ideas and thoughts clearly. So, keep practicing, stay confident, and have fun with the learning process.
Well said, Lisa. And that's a wrap for today's episode. We hope these tips help you on your journey to becoming fluent in English. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yes, thanks for listening. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Goodbye.